What's up, people? As promised, I made a video and it was totally horrible. So this is my video about all these YouTubers, Crap Gamer, MBG. I'm not sure if that's right, and his ilk, their ilk. And then you have the opposites, like Dealer, who's always been kind of more balanced, and you have people who have been more balanced. Randall Thor, love the Wheel of Time. That Randall Thor was one of my email addresses as well. Rand was my fucking password on Hotmail for years before they absolutely forced me to change it to a real password. Which really helped me because no one broke into my Hotmail account, because even they would never fucking use 4 letters to try and figure it out, right? Nobody fucking would use 4 letters. Anyways, let's get past that. I noticed a lot of this, like, anti-Xbox, and I don't think they're trying to be, but a lot of this anti-Xbox, and Crap Gamer's always been sensationalized with his headlines. His content is not quite as sensationalized, although he'll take like something this small and make it like this huge. Someone's trying to, what the fuck is this guy doing? What was I saying before he just started dancing around in the freaking mud? That was weird. That was kind of strange. Anyways, I can't get over what the hell he was doing. Like, he was like pushing the sod down or something. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he got some kicked up and then was trying to push it back down. So anyways, back on topic. I see a lot of fucking people like, I can't believe I've missed out on this. Look, motherfucker. Anybody who's anybody, if you're a gamer and you own one console and you can afford to own multiple consoles and you choose not to, you're a fanboy. You're a fanboy. If the reason why you don't own an Xbox or a PlayStation is because and you can afford to because of that it's an Xbox or a PlayStation, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. And I like to hear, one of my favorite things is, well, I own a PC and I can play all the Xbox games on the PC. Right. You own a PC. Yeah, your Dell laptop is fucking playing those games, motherfucker. Your Intel 4600 freaking graphics card is not playing those games. I'm sorry, you know? Oh, I got a Titan XP. Well, that's great then. Play the games on Xbox Live. That's how it works. Microsoft doesn't care. As long as you're within their ecosystem, that's all they care about. That's why that game from Obsidian is coming out exclusively for Epic Store, but not really exclusively, because Microsoft owns the IP. So guess where else it's going to be? That's right, on the Windows Store, which hopefully will be significantly better by the time the game releases. So I don't understand. Where this fucking hate is coming from. It's coming from everywhere. It's just really freaking weird to watch people. I wasn't there. Strange. And to watch people get angry over a throat ache right there. To get angry over dumb shit. And then to be angry that Microsoft hasn't released any new IP and what here hasn't released any new IP, as if this whole generation there have been no new IP brought by Microsoft at all. Zero. None. And then to just fucking be like, whoa, this is what blows my mind is that people have such short-term memories. They're like, I'm tired of Gears, Forza, Halo. A few years ago, I'm tired of Gears, Forza, Halo, Fable. Before that, it was fucking Gear. It was fucking other shit. Microsoft owns more shit. And until recently, they just didn't have the fucking money. Spencer had to prove that he could make a profitable business out of this before he got the reins to do this. And it sucks. Yes, it sucked. It fucking sucked for Xbox only owners. There were a ton of really good PlayStation 4 games that were not coming out on Xbox One because fucking Sony owned the title. That's just the way it is. But there were a lot of really good Xbox One games that are not coming out on the PlayStation 4. And if you own a PC powerful enough to play some of these games, and Microsoft has been kind enough to put some of these games on stores that don't belong to them. Stores that charge 30%, which is fucking insane. So I don't understand the sudden, like, oh, I missed out on all these games. Yeah, motherfucker, you missed out on all these games, but you knew you were missing out on these fucking games. There was zero reason that you're a fucking podcaster, that this is a business. If you've made a fucking business decision to turn your podcast into a business, your purchase of the PlayStation 4 would have been a business expense and thus deductible on your taxes. So you waited how long before you take a deduction out of your taxes? Are you fucking kidding me? And if you haven't fucking if you haven't turned your fucking shit into a business, you're fucking stupid, bro. Anybody who has a significant amount of followers and has built it up over years, if you haven't turned what you do into a business, that means creating a business, and getting your business license, then you're an idiot. If you're talking about games and you're talking about game systems and you're talking about these things, whenever you buy something that's relevant to your job, that means buying a PlayStation 4, buying the PlayStation 4 Pro, buying the Xbox One, buying the Xbox One X, buying a gaming PC so that you can do your job. And your job is to be like, I played the Xbox One X, I played Grand Theft Auto or whatever, I played Red Dead Redemption 2 on both my Pro and my Xbox One X, and then you give away one of the copies that you don't want, the PlayStation Pro version, of course. I kid, but that's probably the reason. That's probably the version you want to fucking toss out, and you give it away as a prize to your freaking Patreons or whatever the crap you do. And that's a cost, that's an expense that you get to write off. All the purchases, you get to write off the game as an expense. You write off your fucking Xboxes, you write off your PlayStations, you write off everything. You write off the fucking part of your utility bills, you write off your internet connection, you write off all these things. You're telling me you waited till now to get a PlayStation 4 And now you're on YouTube crying about how you missed all these games. You should have never ever been a single console owner. It doesn't pay to only play on a single platform. And this is what really bothers me. Is that people see only in one direction. I understand the direction that you're seeing it. I understand you're upset that you missed all these games. I understand that. I even understand the people who complain about, well, Xbox doesn't have any exclusives. I understand their point of view. Completely get it. All the games are coming to PC. I don't get why they're mad about it. Sony supports all their platforms. Did anybody get angry if a game came on the PlayStation 3 and the fucking Vita or PSP? Nobody fucking got mad at that shit. It's stupid. That's like getting mad because Sony will continue to support the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 at the same time. And here's what... It better not fucking happen. But the wording makes it feel like it might happen. But I think Microsoft and competition will force it to not happen. But it almost sounded like PlayStation 5 games will be separate from PlayStation 4 games. And that, sir, is a bad, bad thing. Shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen. A game should be a game. Like PC, you buy a game on a PlayStation on your fucking PC, just because you got a new graphics card doesn't mean you have to buy the game all over again. Hold on, I'm getting a little bit of fog going on from talking and blowing hot air. So to all these people that were Xbots, and there's really no nice way to say it, that finally decided to get a PlayStation 4, and now you're trying, now all of a sudden it sounds like you're anti-Microsoft. This all your fault. Should have never fucking been a bot. Should have never been a bot. And for all the ponies, should never be a pony. Ponies get legs broken. They step in a hole, their legs get broken. It's throughout the history of consoles. You can see it, right? As you can see the slide. So anybody that was paying attention to 360 and watched Don Matrick and what he did to the fucking company, oh my god, dude, and watch it just slowly slide, slowly descend. The Kinect was an awesome device. Should have never been pushed as a fucking... I thought it was great. But to give up the power, to give up the power at such a freaking huge margin, and it would be different. I mean, their CPU is clocked higher, which helped in some games, but to give up so much of the power to keep the same standard type architecture, which would have been a good idea if DDR4 would have been around, but it didn't happen. It didn't materialize. It's just, I don't know who or what the architectures were thinking when they created the Xbox One. DDR4 was originally supposed to be what was running the console. That DDR4 took way too long to come to market. And so the Xbox ended up using DDR3, which we all know was, in hindsight, was really bad. Sony, it was good because Microsoft took no chances. They wanted 8 gigs, they got 8 gigs. Sony took a chance that paid off for them. Originally, the PlayStation was only going to have 4 gigs of RAM. This was because the technology to put 8 gigs of RAM was not available. And even with faster RAM, it wouldn't have helped. There would been games that just would not have fit. Their OS would have had to been minimized even more. It would probably been more PS3 than the current PlayStation 4 OS. And it would have just been, they lucked out. Really lucky. If things had fallen on the other side of the line, what would we be talking about right now? It would have been crazy. Power matters. Power matters because most people don't play your classic games. Like tens of millions of people bought Halo 3. Tens of millions of people bought Halo 4. Millions and millions of people bought Halo 5. But those numbers in Halo 3 numbers were huge. But those numbers pale now in comparison to what some of these third parties are doing. Nobody's touching these third parties. People are buying stuff from third parties. So if some kids out there, this is why I think it's kind of ingenious. If Microsoft does it right, for Microsoft, is if Sony doesn't also do this, which I would put past Sony. If Microsoft comes out with their high-end SKU and it's like $600, and they pull $599, everybody's like, oh, right? Stupid. That's way too much. But then they're like, but we got this other SKU. It's going to be 1080p 60, and it's going to be $299. If they can pull that, right? If their high-end SKU is just fucking out of control, right? Just super powerful, just blows everything out the water. But their low-end SKU is, hey, you want to play Madden, you want to play FIFA, you want to play Fortnite, you want to play any of these open world games, you can play them all 1080p 60. And for most people, that's good enough. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if it was powerful enough to play a lot of these games in much higher resolution than 1080p. If we're talking 5 teraflops of power, it could probably play some of these games that at 70-80% 4K. So, if that's the truth, and Sony doesn't go that direction and they just have a $500 box, that could be a big deal. That could be a huge deal for third parties, for people who are buying consoles for third party. And let's be honest, you're buying consoles mostly for third party hardware or third party software. Also, I'd like to remind people that yes, Microsoft has had a terrible back end when it comes to exclusive. They actually came out with with a tear, with some pretty good exclusives, even if some people didn't like them. Rise got a bad rap. That's a pretty good fucking game. But they had a bunch of exclusives coming out. The first couple of years, there was a lot of exclusives for the Xbox One. But people didn't care. What did they care about? Power. They care about power. Bloodborne was the first exclusive for any fucking shit on the PlayStation 4. But this is already running 20 minutes long. Stop doing this stuff to you. Next generation, don't be a pansy. Don't be a fool. You go and buy I'm only buying a PlayStation 5, then freaking these studios that Microsoft buys puts out all these great games, and you're like, what was I thinking? Don't think. Get them both. If it's your business, and if it's not your business, make it a business. If you're on YouTube doing podcasts or doing stuff about gaming, you have to pay. You have to do things. You have to set up. You got to get all kinds of crap. All this stuff you're paying for. uh, make sure you're taking advantage of it as a business. Make sure you're writing off as much as you can on taxes. That includes food. That includes electricity. If you're storing stuff, like if you're using a room, that specific area of your house, let's say it's a 50-year house, can be taken off on taxes as a home business. Take every advantage you can get. Every advantage you can get. If you have to drive somewhere on a business, make sure you take all the miles. Like you have to drive to GameStop to pick up the new consoles, that's business expense. Make sure you keep those miles tracked. Make sure you keep, if you're going to meet somebody to talk about doing a podcast together, that's expense for business. If you take them out to dinner or lunch, that's a business expense. Even if you do a YouTube together while you're eating, all right? Everything you can possibly do, make sure that you're running this as a business, that when you use stuff, treat it as a business, that you're taking off and earning as much money and taking off as much money as possible on your taxes. Anyways, I know I'm being an asshole a little bit, only a tiny bit. Get both consoles next gen, or all three, if that's how I'll end up getting a Switch because my wife wants one. So anyways, get both consoles. Don't be an idiot. Don't be the idiot who used to be a bot, then you became a pony, and you're sitting here fucking 5 years later like, what was I fucking thinking? Man. Peace out, people. Both consoles. Don't be an idiot.